The H1B Guy here, and today, the H1B Guy news for the week ending April 30th, 2021. Today, I'll cover documented dreamers remain hopeful, USCIS updates policy, and U.S. Embassy in India issues health alert. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube and like this video so that I can continue to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention the H1B Guy offers a variety of consulting services. I help businesses and individuals solve complex work authorization issues in the recruitment process while bringing awareness to employment-based immigration benefits. If I can help you, please reach out. I'd love to hear how. Today's news is brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001, and also by Path to Canada. Path to Canada is the ideal plan B for high-skilled immigrants currently in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain. If you're facing an H-1B denial or OPT expiration, don't get caught off guard. Make sure you have a plan B, and Path to Canada is your answer. Well, I wanted to thank everyone who took the time to join me on Wednesday for the H-1B Guy Live Q&A discussing the House Judiciary hearing on barriers to legal immigration and some of the online visa bulletin calculations that we did. The testimonials that were received during Wednesday's hearing and the Q&A that followed should hopefully bring a lot more clarity to this dire situation of our current immigration laws. Later that night on Wednesday, President Biden also addressed the nation to cover his success of his administration's first 100 days. Towards the end, he quickly glazed over the Day 1 U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. And as I discussed in the H1B Guy previews, more of the same President-elect Biden first 100 days in office for immigration, something is still missing. Now, the news. April 26th, 2021, in an article written by Genevieve Douglas for Bloomberg Law titled Legal Dreamers See Renewed Chance for Relief in Legislation. Quote, children of temporary work visa holders have a new opportunity to achieve a legislative solution to the predicament of aging out of dependent status while their parents wait more than a decade for a green card. So-called legal dreamers are often children of Indian nationals on specialty and intra-company work visas who came to the U.S. with their parents and grow up while their parents wait out ever-expanding green card backlogs. Once they reach the age of 21, these dependent H-4 and L-2 visa holders have the choice to either self-deport, leaving their families for a country with which they're often unfamiliar, or start their own cycle of navigating the U.S. legal immigration system at the back of the line. The American Dream and Promise Act, H.R. 6, approved by the U.S. House last month, includes for the first time provisions that would allow those dependents and green card holders, now grown children, the option of a faster path to citizenship. Previous versions of legislation to create a pathway to citizenship for deferred action for childhood arrivals recipients, undocumented individuals brought to the U.S. illegally as children, only allowed someone who was inadmissible or deportable to qualify. But H.R. 6 now has language that expands eligibility to anyone who is the son or daughter of an alien admitted as a non-immigrant under the permanent E1 and E2, H1B specialty, and L1 temporary work visa programs. The central cause to the issue legal dreamers face is that the green card backlog, the result of a per-country cap on employment-based green cards. As it currently stands, S-264 doesn't include legal dreamers in its conditional permanent status eligibility. The language could be added, though, as the bill winds its way through the chamber as part of a reconciliation between the two bills if the Senate measure were to pass. You know, I said this on Wednesday, but having a member from Improve the Dream get an opportunity to tell her story about aging out and the struggle it's created for her and her parents is a common theme that we've heard from other documented dreamers that have come here on this channel and told their story. As has been widely covered, the Senate version of the American Dream and Promise Act doesn't cover documented dreamers. I've been told that a smaller standalone bill to address the issue facing documented dreamers is currently in the works. I'm hopeful that it finds its way to the Senate floor for discussion at the very least. April 27th, 2021. In a news release posted on USCIS.gov titled, USCIS issues policy guidance on deference to previous decisions. Quote, USCIS is issuing policy guidance in the USCIS policy manual instructing officers to give deference to prior determinations when adjudicating extension requests involving the same parties and facts unless there was a material error, material change, or new material facts. With this update, USCIS is reverting in substance to prior long-standing guidance issued in 2004, which directed officers to generally defer to prior determinations of eligibility when adjudicating extension requests involving the same parties and facts as the initial petition or application. In 2017, USCIS rescinded the 2004 guidance. This update is in accordance with President Biden's executive order restoring faith in our legal immigration systems and strengthening integration and inclusion efforts for new Americans. The executive order directs the Secretary of Homeland Security to identify barriers that impede access to immigration benefits and fair, efficient adjudications of these benefits. Affording deference to prior approvals involving the same parties promotes efficient and fair adjudication of immigration benefits. Well, personally, this is a really big deal and a huge thank you to USCIS for updating this policy. This Trump-era policy was most likely architected by he who shall not be named. And I just want to say good riddance to this ridiculous policy USCIS was using to issue RFEs and delay adjudications. We're not talking about new H1B petitions or H1B change of employers. We're talking about continuing employment, an extension of a previously approved petition. As I covered in the H1B Guy news for the week ending April 26, 2021, Jadot has her work cut out for her as USCIS director in breaking down years of toxic culture at USCIS. Let's hope this is one of the first steps in the right direction, as this mandate from the DHS Secretary just makes a lot of sense. April 28th, 2021. A health alert post on the U.S. Embassy and Consulates in India. Quote, U.S. citizens who wish to depart India should take advantage of available commercial transportation options now. Direct flights between India and the United States are offered daily, with additional flight options available to U.S. citizens via transfers in Paris and Frankfurt. New cases and deaths from COVID-19 have risen sharply throughout India to record levels. COVID-19 testing infrastructure is reportedly constrained in many locations. Hospitals are reporting shortages of supplies, oxygen, and beds for both COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 related patients. U.S. citizens are reporting being denied admittance to hospitals in some cities due to lack of space. I briefly discussed this on Wednesday as well, and that is, the COVID-19 outbreak in India that's being reported is devastating on so many levels. But what I wanted to talk about is its impact on H-1B visas right now and into the future. As we're well aware, 70% of H-1Bs are issued to individuals from India. The U.S. Embassy in India is advising U.S. citizens to get out now, and I think that's quite alarming. If the numbers continue to rise, I expect a temporary travel ban to and from India may be imminent. The reasons why all of this matters for this channel is that there are new H-1B visa holders who were awarded for fiscal year 2021 who have still yet to enter into the U.S. because, one, there was a H-1B travel ban, and two, they can't get consulate appointments. And now we're looking at a new wave of H-1B visas which will be approved for fiscal year 2022 with an entry date on or before October 1st, 2021. Unless there is a dramatic turn of events, new H-1Bs for individuals from India for fiscal year 2022 should really start planning their entry into the U.S. well into the calendar year of 2022. The good news is that your H1B time won't start counting until you physically enter into the US. So even if your visa is approved for October 1st and you don't enter until April or May of 2022, that time's not going to count until you physically enter into the US. But for now, thoughts and prayers to all of those who have been impacted by this horrible pandemic, not only here in the US and abroad. For the full post on the H1B Guy news for the week ending April 30th, 2021, please check out the H1BGuy.com. And a reminder that today's news was brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001. This national job board network provides recruitment websites in 1,024 major U.S. metro areas. Each local job board is its own portal and is a low-cost resource for immigration recruitment ads for all industries and professions with a flat price of $225 per ad regardless of which city you choose. RecruiterNetworks.com has been the #1 place for immigration attorneys, immigration ad agencies, and employers to meet the DOL requirements for the digital portion of the perm advertisement rules. RecruiterNetworks.com. Tell them the H1B Guy sent you. The news is also brought to you by Path to Canada. Path to Canada provides a Plan B for high-skilled immigrants currently in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain. If you're facing an H1B denial or OPT expiration, don't get caught off guard. Make sure you have a Plan B. Path to Canada is your answer and will help you navigate the process. If you're interested in finding out more, be sure to hit the link in the description below. Wanted to ask you again to please like this video, subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime we post new content here to this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.